Meanwhile, it is Young Conservative Week here on Mornings with Maria. Yesterday, I spoke with former New Hampshire congressional candidate Caroline Leavitt, and I asked her who had better policies for young people, former President Trump or President Biden. Watch. So you think, Caroline, that Trump's policies are better for young people than Biden's policies, even though he keeps saying that he's going to forgive everybody's debt?
Oh, most definitely. Again, those are false promises, and the Democrat Party is lying to young people. Young Americans are really feeling the pinch. Credit card debt in this nation has never been higher, and that burden sits on the backs of millennial Americans and Generation Z Americans. The young Americans don't feel safe in American cities. Yeah. That is a sad reality, and it's going to have an impact on the next election.
And we continue our coverage of young conservatives. Joining me right now is the host of OutKicks. Tomi Lahren is fearless, and Fox News contributor Tomi Lahren. Tomi, great to see you. Welcome. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so happy that you are shining a light on young conservatives. I think it's going to be so important moving forward that we get young voters energized, excited, passionate about politics. And I'm happy that I get to do that with you today.
Yeah, but I want to know what you assess this group to be feeling now, because in the last election, the midterms, Joe Biden promised young people he was going to forgive their debt. I remember getting a call from someone who said to me, I'm so happy that President Biden is going to forgive my student debt. They believed it, and they came out and voted, didn't they?
Yeah, they've been sold a bad bill of goods here, but I think it's also a little bit insulting that young people are believed to only really care about their debts being forgiven and getting freebies. I think there's certainly a segment of the young population that's enticed by that, but I think that we are actually, as a group, far smarter than that, and we understand that this economy is about more than just getting things forgiven by the American taxpayer, and more so, we'd like to be able to afford rent, we'd like to be able to afford homes, start families, and be able to go on vacations, buy nice things. So I think young people are starting to realize that Bidenomics is not working for any American, but certainly not young Americans who are just trying to get started in this economy. So you can forgive all the debt you want on the backs of the American taxpayer, but in order to really flourish in America, you have to have opportunity, economic opportunity. You don't have that under this administration, and there's no fudging that, just no way to get around that.
Well, you make an excellent point here, and you're talking about specific policies that impact all of us. And what you're saying, I think, is what I'm hearing, is that young people have the same issues that the rest of us have, and that is inflation is costing us money and cutting into our wages. Is that what you're saying? The impact of rates going up to 7% in the mortgage market has some people saying, I thought I could buy a home, take out a mortgage, but actually I can't.
Exactly. So a lot of young people don't want to rent anymore. They would like to buy a home. They would like to start families. But the problem is they cannot afford a down payment. They can't afford to save up for a down payment because rent is so high. Their groceries are so high. Their gas bills are so high. So they can't afford any of this. They're living at home with mom and dad. That's not the way any young people want to live. You know, young people more than anything hate to be told what to do. And that's what Democrat policies do. They tell you what to do, how to live your life, but then they also restrict you from being able to have that liberty, that independence, that freedom that young people, and I believe all Americans, really want. So I think that although the Biden administration is pulling out all the stops, of course, having these TikTokers really pulling for his cause and advocating for his policies, I don't think young people are stupid. I think that they're going to vote with their pocketbook, and that's going to have to be on the side of conservatism, liberty, and the Republican Party, if we play our cards right and we get the messaging correct.
That's the whole nother conversation about these TikTokers. I mean, here we have the White House using TikTok to speak to young people, even at a time when many governors are saying they're banning it from their state, and certainly they're banning it from any government phones, and yet the White House keeps using TikTok. We've got a new Associated Press NORC poll. It finds a whopping 77% of Americans think President Biden is too old to effectively carry out a second term. That includes 69% of Democrats say Biden is not up for the task, Tomi. I want to be clear here, because it's not just age. This is mental capacity. It's not about being old. Yes, these polls are asking, is he too old? But I know plenty of people around this age group that are sharp as a tack. That's not what we see from this sitting president.
No, and that same poll also showed that although Donald Trump is only 3 years younger than Joe Biden, most Americans, in fact, about half said that he was maybe too old, but that's much different than 77%. When you have 77% of Americans agreeing on anything, for that matter, I think that that is impactful and it's significant. So you're right, Maria, it's not about just the number, it's about the capacity, it's about what we see and what we hear from this president. The world is laughing at us, and we feel for anybody who is on a cognitive decline, but I think it's time for Biden's family to tell him to step aside, and we need some young blood coming up through the Democrat Party. Unfortunately, I fear that's going to be Gavin Newsom. That's a whole nother topic, but we do deserve to have a president and a commander-in-chief who is able to do the job and doesn't fumble and stumble at every turn.
Well, I don't know who the nominee will be at this point. I mean, it's expected that it will be Joe Biden, but I think it's a good point to mention Gavin Newsom. Tommy, I want to ask you coming up in the show about that messaging that you're referring to. You just said we will have a victory if, in fact, we as young people are messaging things out the proper way. I want to get into that a little more. I want to get your take on what you think that message is. So thanks for being here for Conservative Young People's Week, but I know you're sticking with us for the rest of the hour, and we appreciate that. Thank you so much, Tomi Lahren. Join us tomorrow for Young Conservative Week. We continue with former NBA star Enes Kanter Freedom. He'll be my special guest at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be back with Tomi Lahren right after this short break. Stay